E3 hopes and dreams.
Our hopes and dreams.
Hello and welcome to episode 60 Saul of Triangle Squared. I'm your host Brett Beck, and alongside me, Mister.
You already said it. Saul Bridges bringing you a lucky episode 60.
I gotta
and you
give
said that too.
Oh yeah, I ruined it all. It's okay. Hey, there's no faking it. We got to make it here. There is no faking it. We can't.
I mean, we can't mess up. We're live. Like,
it's okay.
All of 11 people will see it,
and they will call us out, and they will make us into monsters. But Saul, it's been another weird week, so let's at least get into our... First of all, it's been a weird week. I say that often. I find myself saying it often, but it tends to be weird weeks. This week has specifically been weird because almost every night I've come home and I've worked with a little bit of time that I've not done working on the kitchen remaster. It looks better than ever. I have been trying to play as much games as I could. I didn't even get to play Onrush because I chose to decide to work last night.
Is it over?
I've got to pick it. No, I've got to play it today though. So I'm going to play it after we get done with here. But Saul, what have you been playing this week, buddy?
A whole lot of really nothing. I always say that, but it's always wrong. Of course, we've been playing Dark Souls 3 for Saul Plays. First episode of that came out. If you guys haven't seen that,
shout out to Saul Play plug.
And make sure you check that out. Very proud of that series. Proud of the intro that I created. Proud of all that stuff. And I'm thinking every this is gonna be weird on YouTube. Context is that we are live on Twitch in case you did not know. But yeah, I've been playing Dark Souls 3 for that. Check that first episode out if you haven't already. Other than that, though, I've been sitting on the couch on my lazy butt playing Stardew Valley on my Switch, and I see a lot of people been playing Conan, and Conan Exiles. That's actually kind of an unpopular game in my book, or not unpopular, but not really hyped up in my mind. I really don't care for that game.
How you enjoying that God of War LTB? It's so good.
I hope you're really enjoying it.
One thing that we didn't do, I guess I need to throw in here is before I hop into my own. What'd you say?
Nothing. This is going to be fun.
Is that we are Triangle Squared, a PlayStation podcast, and you can normally find us on YouTube every Monday at, 10 a.m. PST and 12 p.m. CST. And if you watch us on YouTube, consider giving us a subscribe and talking to us down in the comments below, keeping up with our other videos that we're doing. And other way you can listen to us is on podcast services, unless Google Play Music cuts our episode short and doesn't want to fix it for any reason. But if you listen to us on podcast services, consider giving us a review. Helps people find us a little bit easier and helps our numbers. Which, is just good. And it also lets us know what y'all think about what we're doing and whether or not we want to change. And, feedback is a good thing. But Saul, what I have been playing, good sir.
I was going to say, I thought you were really about to ask me what have I been playing. I was like, man, we're really unstructured. If this is your first episode of this, or if you happen to be in the Twitch chat right now, go back and just start over. Start at the first episode. This is not a typical episode.
Anyway, I've been playing. I gushed about one of them specifically, and I'm curious, LTB, if you picked it up. I think it was you that was asking about whether or not it had microtransactions. Thankfully, it doesn't. But I've been playing Game Dev Story, and Blake, this is important that you know. You did this to me because you let me listen to Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, and at the end of Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, I talked about it, and I was like, I don't know what this is. I've never heard of it. So I downloaded it. Actually, I downloaded the light version, played it for free, and I was like, this is fun. So I went and bought it because it's only $250, and I have been just stuck on that for days. It's so fun. I'm actually having withdrawals that I've not played it at all today, but it's incredibly fun. And I've gotten multiple games that have won the best. You can basically there's game awards every year, and there's different awards, but to get the game of the year, basically you have to do a lot of work. And I finally got there. It's so freaking fun. I've been playing a lot of Omen Sight, which is a game that came out technically this week. It's the one we talked about last week on the drop. Super fun too. It's the right price, and I've been debating whether or not I wanted to do a review for it, but it's so fun. So what I was kind of trying to tell you the other day, I actually think you'd like it because for those who don't know, it's a murder mystery. That's the real show of what's going on. But then whenever you're playing everything, that's more like the premise than anything. When you're playing everything, it's like an action platformer. It's got a fixed camera that you can wiggle a little bit, but not really. And it's kind of upward in an isometric, third-person isometric style, but not quite fully on top of you. And the cool part about the combat continues to grow. It's kind of like an Arkham style where it's like a rhythm that you're doing. But when you're playing, you'll meet people and you'll get a connection with their soul. They have to die normally, but then you forge a connection with their soul, and then you start the day over. It's like the last day of Earth, right? Very
Right.
similar to what is going on in Majora's Mask. As a base premise, you have one day, and at the end of the day, something crazy happens. And what you've got to do is go back with these different people, and as you continue to learn more, the whole point of the name being Omen Sight is that eventually you get the power to look when you find these special memories that are so powerful that you can recollect what happened even though you weren't there. And you
Right.
see them, and then when you go to the start of the day again, you can share them with people, and they'll know that it's true. There's no falter. Like as soon as you do it to them, they know that
So
what
it's
they
like
just
evidence.
saw is perfectly true. And so then you get more information. You find more of these omen sites, and then you go back in time throughout the day. Again, even with the same people, you have to loop back around because you can get new information from them once you get new information from other people. And you go to different areas because the information changes and different things like that. So it's really cool. You see the same characters again, and you fight with the same characters.
But you see them in different contexts.
But it continues
Context.
to move the context, and as you learn stuff around, like the story constantly switches around on you. So if you have an interest in kind of like an action platformer style game, it's really fun, and I think it's priced perfectly. I pre-ordered it to get it a little cheaper, so I got it for like $15, $16, which is a great price. I think if you can get it on normal price, which is $20, it's a great buy. I would definitely recommend it, and I know that it was Scorp Wild, Nate asked me about it. So I don't know. I think it's really good.
I really can't figure out how to share this. I was trying to send it to Gavin or Joe, but never mind. Can't do that. Normally we would drop into the hop here, and this week we're not really going to kind of go by that schedule, really. But I did notice that that Liam was talking about him and really enjoying Conan Exiles.
I want to pick it up. So it is like, because I remember the first Conan game, and this is a sequel to the first Conan game back on 360 and PS3, if I'm not mistaken. It's just like is it open world, or is it kind of like a structured, smaller, linear
I was just
RPG?
I was just making a joke because he said every time I see a clip of Conan, there's dicks swinging everywhere.
I'm just curious because someone said they've been playing it. Conan Exiles Dicks and Boobs Simulator. That's great. Oh.
And then Josh, he said, "Sounds great. I'm in." Oh, this is going to be the worst structured episode in the world of Triangle Squared. Almost as if this should be like a bonus episode one day, but
I don't know. What we may do is just start doing a live episode every week that's just completely stupid.
or not even a live episode, but just a live hangout, like not even put on YouTube.
Who knows?
Follow on Twitch.
We'll figure it
Speaking
out.
of which, speaking of following on Twitch, if you guys haven't already, just follow. It's very free. You're not going to get annoying notifications like YouTube, and it really doesn't do a whole lot except let you know when we go online. Or if you are on Twitch and you happen to be, browsing your channels, you'll see us pop up online. Nope, not going to read that, Liam. Huh. So
it's probably a good thing we won't have the chat on the
it's
video.
a very good thing. This is why I did not have have the chat. But yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying God of War LCB because that's a really really good game. And let's see. So I guess we can go ahead and hop into like kind of the news of Kingdom Hearts 3 that Wreck-It Ralph
Well, I'll
is
tell you
in
what,
there
before
and
we
stuff.
start doing that, we're going to keep a little bit of the structure because it still will go up on everything. Let's go ahead and let's give people the drop. It
Oh,
should be
okay.
up.
Well, here, let me go.
Yeah, let's go ahead and hit the drop.
Well, I hope it's up. Oh, yeah, it is Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Saturday.
I had
It
to
should be
work
up.
today, which is not normal. So.
You guys know we're lazy. We let whoever does them these days at PlayStation do all the work for us, and then
we just throw them up there, man.
We just talk about it to
I
y'all.
don't know if I'm gonna be able to do timestamps this episode. It's gonna be hard.
Nah, man, screw timestamps.
So-
this is gonna be a special episode, man.
So obviously, there's gonna be a lot of good games coming out this week.
Saul needs to hop on that Minecraft. Saul, you gotta get your Minecraft plat. You have it yet?
Terraria. For those that don't know, the drop is the weekly games releasing, and we'll go ahead and start. We have Seven Scarlet for PS Vita, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon for PS Vita and PS4. Cannot wait for that. Dark Souls Remastered for PS4, digital and retail. Can't wait for that either. Defender's Quest, Valley of the Forgotten DX for PS Vita. Detroit Become Human for PS4 and PS Vita. Apparently, that's what I was gonna say, but no, for PS4, out digitally and retail. Disco Dodgeball Remix for PS4, Dungeon Rushers for PS4, Everspace for PS4, Garoga for PS4, H1Z1 Battle Royale for PS4. I'm actually excited for that. I Hate Running Backwards for PS4. Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Is that the name? I Hate Running Backwards?
I Hate Running Backwards.
Okay.
One Piece Grand Cruise for PSVR, Pixel Junk Monsters 2 for PS4, Shio for PS4, Space Hulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition for PS4, available digitally and in stores near you. Stardew Valley for PS4. or
Vita.
PS Vita.
Yeah.
It is a cross-buy title, so if you bought it on PS4 like I did, you have it on PS Vita when it comes out. Hyperactive Ninja for PS4. Tennis World Tour for PS4. That is the last title of the game. We got some big games this week. We have Detroit. We have Dark Souls. We have...
I love this.
I thought somebody's been there talking mess.
Nah, he said Vita more dead than my will to live. Oh
Oh my gosh! But yeah, got Dark Souls, Detroit, Bloodstained. What else was there?
I mean, Detroit's going to be my big game for this week.
It's really.
I mean, it just is.
Really,
Dark Souls Remastered is interesting to me because have you seen it? That they're just really screwing over the people on Steam. They're removing the original one from Steam, so you can't get it anymore.
No, well, that's not true. They're hiding it. You can still get it. Or if you have
you
have
it, you can. Yes,
yeah,
but you can't buy it new anymore.
Right, and I highly doubt
ridiculous.
anybody who nobody's gonna buy it if they haven't already wanted it. Like that's the thing with Steam is that this game's been available for what?
I mean, I guess it just comes down to
8
why
years
is
now?
it $20
6 years?
and it's barely giving PC people anything. You know what I mean? Because if you just download DS Fix,
Well, see, the people that are complaining
For Dark
about
Souls?
the same people complaining about that, are the people that have that option that could just go ahead and do that. So I don't understand why they don't just go ahead and do that.
that's true.
Like, go ahead and just mod it to your heart's content. It's already there. It's you already have the game. You already have access to the mods for it. If I had it on PC, I would be doing the same thing.
Did you hear what he said? LTB. He says, I hate running backwards as a top-down shooter where you run backwards and the enemies come from the bottom end of the screen. That's interesting.
Weird.
Yeah, I think a Dark Souls full remake would have been cool, but at the same time, it's a little early for that because Dark Souls was, what, 2011?
10. That's
10?
why I said 8 years. No, it was 2011. That's what I was just about to look up.
Yeah, because Demon Souls was 09. And Dark Souls 2 was Dark Souls was after it, 2 years.
I think you're right. So let me see. Oh my gosh, nope. This is what I hate about when I Google
When you
something,
look it up
I
again?
literally Google Dark Souls 1 release date, and then for whatever reason, it's not the top search. Like it's showing me 2016 on Japan of March 24th, and I know that's for something else and not that entirely. Dark Souls in 2011. So yeah,
there we
7
go.
years old now, which is absolutely nuts when you think about it. Sounds kind of like Smash TV. Oh, I thought you said Smosh TV. I'm like, who is Smosh TV? Who are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I guess right, Blake. If nothing else, at least it looks marginally better. I mean, it not marginally. I will say, it's thinking 1080p 60 is cool.
No, it looks good, and you can
and
finally
the biggest
play
thing
it on
is
PS4.
Blighttown doesn't just destroy the system.
Digital Foundry did a good video about that. That it's still Blighttown is now still fixed, like everybody was hoping. So it's still good. Like you can go down to Blighttown, no issues.
Yeah, it is what it is. Though,
But,
I find it. I mean, I'm glad it's $20. What a price! Like that's a really good price. So.
And almost to kind of segue into some other news is that H1Z1's coming out for the open beta on Tuesday, and then it releases, I think on Friday. I think this is the date. And I'm excited for that because finally there's a battle royale game that's nitty gritty for PS4. That's like PUBG basically.
Yeah.
I still sick of the mechanics, crafting mechanics. I said it on the last episode of that Fortnite. I got pretty decent at the crafting mechanics. Still
it's
becomes
40.
Almost the same game.
I know what it is. You pay. It's 20 on PC. That's where I got in my head.
Yeah, it's 20 on PC.
It's 20 on PC. Yeah. My bad.
But what's really super interesting is the new Call of Duty news. What did you think?
Oh.
You didn't like it?
No, but that's because I don't
You
play
don't like
Call of Duty
hero shooters.
multiplayer.
Well, you don't like hero shooters.
Well, I mean,
I don't. You like
but
Advanced Warfare, which is very similar to what this looks like.
Yeah, that's the only
The health
one.
is back and everything.
Yeah, that's the only one I've liked. No, Advanced Warfare didn't have health.
No, it did. I'm fairly certain that Advanced Warfare did have
No,
health.
it was still just normal regenerative health. You hide, you heal. Now, I mean, health bar is cool, but I mean, I like that in things like Resistance. But I mean,
But
the entire gameplay structure of Resistance is so different.
Super excited for it.
I mean, dude, I'm not playing it at all.
Oh, I'm
there's
playing
no
it
story
for
mode.
sure.
Now they said there's going to be narrative
Which is like
that's-
Overwatch.
Yeah, but
I
I
don't
don't
really
care.
care
I'm not
about
going to
that
mess with that. Yeah, see, Black Ops 4 to me just looks like a wasted opportunity. The only good news that came out of all this is that there's been a thing where Activision have claimed that they're not going to go forward with it anymore. Or they're not going to necessarily go forward with it with other Call of Duty games. So there will still be a traditional campaign most likely in the next Call of Duty.
Right.
They're just choosing to skip out on this year.
I'm finally excited. I'm excited that we finally get a good AAA because Epic is AAA. But and it's not saying that Fortnite's bad, but like a good.
Well,
solid,
you're getting a triple
battle
A
royale.
quality battle royale that's nitty gritty,
Yes.
like you're talking about.
And that's what I'm mostly excited for. If they can really pull off the team-based shooter aspect, then sure, like go for it. I will enjoy that too. But Battle Royale is what I really want.
See, here's the biggest thing about Call of Duty. Is it going to be $40? I didn't look and see if they announced the price. If it's not $40, then
probably not. I mean, it's Activision in the end.
It's going to be $60, just like Overwatch was. And my biggest thing for Overwatch is it needed to be $40 at launch and not $60. Now, yes, is it getting supported?
It's like $60, I think, or I mean $40.
Maybe, but I mean,
Origins Edition. Or whatever.
I just still got to say, to me, there is no world where a multiplayer only game should be $60, and I do mean that from like the biggest thing, because like Destiny 2 may be. Is he bouncing out?
Yeah.
Like, oh, gotcha. Gotta go, Dad. Love it. See you, Josh. But yeah, man, my biggest thing is like it's $60. Okay, so that's so ridiculous. I mean, my thing is okay, like Destiny and Destiny 2. While they don't have fantastic storylines, they have a storyline. Does it require?
I agree that they shouldn't be $60.
Does it require internet? Sure, Destiny requires internet, but you're getting something out of it, and you can play completely by yourself if you wanted to. And there's a story there, and there's a campaign. I don't particularly agree with the whole.
Well, Black Post, or no, I keep calling him Black Post. I don't know
Black
why.
Power is what it's like.
No, Black Post, like because it's BLK Post.
Yeah, Blake. I get it. Single player only games are $60. Yes, and I will agree that here's where my concession will stand. Games like The Order, while I am okay that I paid $60, I will never argue that The Order shouldn't have been $40. Because I mean, I gladly paid $60, and if they made a sequel of the same thing, I would still play it. But that's because I like the product, and I guess I get it. But I mean, as a principled matter, it should have been $40. Well, now a game like God of War,
he brings up the point we've made before. Games are expensive. $60 is fairly cheap.
Yeah, but man, there's a lot, and I mean a lot of savings that go down from not having to deal with a single player campaign.
Well,
and now it's a business, and I get it, and they got to make their money back. But I still do think that it's one of those things where, if you make it $40, more people are likely to adopt it early. So you're going, and basically in general, more people are going to adopt it over its lifetime. At least traditionally speaking, that tends to be the thing. If you price it competitively in a way that works, then, I mean, why not?
Right.
People are going to be more likely to want to jump onto it at that price point than they would.
I think that $50 to $45, like $44.99 is the perfect price for a multiplayer only game. I'm not gonna say like I have a problem with it because I'm still gonna buy them no matter what. Like I am super excited for Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Like I have not been this excited for a Call of Duty game in a long time. Like I am excited to get my hands on it because I loved Black Ops 3. And people are saying it looks just like Black Ops 3. Modern Warfare 3 looks like Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 looks like Modern Warfare 1. They all look the same when they're part of the same generation. Like that's just a thing with Call of Duty games. Like graphically it does look a little bit better, but it still looks relatively similar.
Well, because it's the same engine being,
I mean, and that's
being very quickly iterated upon.
I was talking to Sean about this earlier today. It's that same mindset of, oh, Call of Duty, it's the same crap every year. Oh, they changed it. It's not even Call of Duty anymore. Make up your minds, people. Like it's two huge groups of people who are constantly saying this kind of things. It doesn't apply to you guys. Just stop worrying about it.
There we go. And this is what I was going to get to. I was waiting for you to stop. I was waiting for you to stop. That sounds mean. I was waiting for you to finish what you were saying. But LTV said, Blake is saying $60 is a good deal for any AAA game. Well, there's two things. I think part of it is there's like a mental thing in my head where if it's a multiplayer only game, I cannot see it as a fully AAA game. That's dumb. That's a little ignorant. And I mean, it's just like a weird thing that it's hard for me to get over. It just doesn't feel like a fully AAA game. And I think the other bit is just like LTB was saying, when you know that there's going to be microtransactions in there and they're going to be heavily present, then the price should be reflected upon that because you're not doing free updates for nothing. There's something that's going on there. And we're unlike a game like No Man's Sky was $60 at launch. And they have continued to do free updates and bigger updates than I would have expected, partially because they know that they have to because their reputation rests on this. If they don't fix the game that so many people lauded early on, and I may have enjoyed it, but still, they made a lot of promises that they did not keep. If they didn't fix those and do all these updates and create a lot of goodwill, they would have lost all their reputation and probably would have tanked in the long run as a studio. So, I mean, they did what they had to do, but we're seeing that constant updates do cost money, but the thing about constant updates is it also continues to get new people into your game, just like something like Grand Theft Auto 5. People just want to see the updates happen so that they can continue to play.
Right.
And I get it as a balance. There just always is, but Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really excited for it. I think it's gonna be fun. I know Sean's gonna get it. I know Gavin's gonna get it. Joe's probably gonna get it. It's gonna be a fun time. I've been looking. I said it
As long as you enjoy your time with it.
I said it a couple episodes ago. Is that like I've been looking for a really fun competitive shooter. And Rainbow Six is that game for me. It's just hard to find time to play Rainbow Six for what it is because I can't play that game by myself. Call of Duty, I've always been able to play by myself.
So you feel like you need a little squad?
Yeah, and Rainbow, I feel like I have to have a squad. And if Jonathan's not online, Sean's not online, that's really the only two people I would play it with, then yeah, it's kind of hard to play. But let's see. So I guess going back into like the rest of the news besides Call of Duty, we had some Kingdom Hearts stuff come out. I really don't.
Real quick, Nick, I'll play the beta too. That's because the thing about Black Ops 3,
the Black Ops beta?
The thing about Black Ops 3 specifically is that I really did enjoy the Advanced Warfare multiplayer. A lot of it had to do with the progression system and getting getting the different armor pieces and whatnot. It made a much more fun and engaging progression system to me than previous Call of Duties had, and then following Call of Duties had. I did not like the way that they tried making the progression system in Black Ops 3, but I did play the beta to see if I wanted to get it. I didn't like it. I'll give Black Ops 4 the same, but I'm pretty sure I've never had the love for Black Ops that everyone else tends to have. Like there's a really specific sect that plays Black Ops games. That's not me. So I mean, we'll see.
I'm trying to figure out. This chat's going crazy. All
Cuck Daddy Trey.
I don't know who these people are, but it's hilarious. But yeah, so like the Kingdom Hearts stuff, do we kind of want to delve into that because of how like the spoilers and stuff? I know there's gonna be a lot of people who don't.
I wonder if this is just a group of people who literally come on to these things just to be ridiculous. You know?
I don't know. Probably so. But like the David guy
like
has
the
crown. He has a crown next to him, so I'm trying to figure out who that is because everybody else, like Nick, has a crown.
I don't know what a crown even means.
I think it's a follower. Or I know it's not a subscriber because we don't have that set up yet. But so do we want to go? How far do we want to go into the Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff? Like,
I mean, I don't think that talking about what they've shown would be any kind of spoiler territory. So I'm going to go from there. I would say, Twitch Prime. Look at that. I don't Twitch enough. These are things that I don't know. But no, Kingdom Hearts 3. I mean, I think we could talk about it, no problem, right?
See, I don't know those. Like,
I mean, what would you consider to be too far of a line? Because I mean, just talking about the little bit that they've shown is things that they've already shown in trailers. So I think what we're going to say is Kingdom Hearts 3. If you don't want to hear about it, just hold up for a few seconds. But
well, we're live.
I mean, sometimes just hold off for a few seconds.
Yeah.
Mute us, look at us, and we'll give you a thumbs up, and we're done talking about it.
Okay.
We're going to talk about it.
I mean, I think it's cool. Like, well, and here's another thing is that I haven't watched a lot of it. I've watched 2 minutes of the newest video, and that's it.
Really?
I'm radio silent at this point.
Now, to be fair, there's not a lot.
No, I know.
It really does come down to just showing that the game is in a very, very
finished state.
Finished. Like now, to be fair, this is vertical slices, and this is areas we've already seen. This is showing us Toy Story again, which we already knew, and we got to see her, and we got to see more of Olympia again. So Olympus. But when we're looking at both of those, all we're doing is seeing two things they've already done. These could be vertical slices that they pulled out, and we're not. And they just were able to polish. It doesn't mean the game is coming, but I mean, let's go ahead and talk about what they were showing. So part of what they were showing is a lot of combat stuff, and one of the things that Josh pointed out, and you can see, is that there is a lot of different ways they're pulling every combat bit together. They're bringing shot lock commands back to an extent. Which is a Birth by Sleep staple. They are mixing some of the things from Birth by Sleep in. The way summons work now are going to be links, which is very similar to the way they did D-links in Birth by Sleep, but not quite the same. The MP bar, your mana, is coming back in this one instead of doing the command deck, which is what they were doing. LTB, I do think there's going to be a 2018 release date.
I do too.
Them showing it this much.
After seeing the quality,
regardless of whether it's a final build, because I do know that there was some. I think it was IGN that said that they think that this is a finished build after all this. I think it's 2018 now. Where I think the biggest part about trying to figure out where is looking at the current slate and seeing that there's a lot going on right now in the months where you can see it. Now August, which is where Josh is wanting to die on a hill for, August 24th. August is an okay month, but I feel like it's too early.
I think it's fine.
But if it happens, great. If it's not going to come in August, I think the next, and there's a rumor that it's going to be coming in September, that would be a big misstep to me. Not that they're not a huge game. They would be fine, but going up against Spider-Man is and Tomb Raider are just two interesting things. Red Dead's not till October.
Why do I keep mistaking that?
So I think it was originally supposed to be September maybe. I don't know. But my point being, going up against those, when you don't have to, definitely considering that Square is publishing Tomb Raider, I don't think they would cannibalize their own game that way, even if they are different genres and very different niches. But I think what you'd see is if they don't come out in August and they don't get out ahead of all this stuff, they're going to come out in November. Because now you're not having to worry about Call of Duty being in November. That's one less thing that you have to worry about. If they come out late enough in November, you're getting about a month away from Red Dead. Red Dead's kind of will die down a little bit, and the people who are going to stick with Red Dead are going to stick with Red Dead regardless. You know, the people because we assume that there's going to be a Red Dead online infrastructure very similar to what we've seen with Grand Theft Auto. Maybe not. Okay, yeah, he was just confirming.
Wow, yeah, I cannot believe that Black Ops 4 is in October. That's normally, and like it has to be.
Yeah, well, they moved up.
Right, because of Red Dead. They have to have, because that's
Spider-Man owns September. See, exactly. Well, then that's what I'm talking about. Spider-Man is going to be the thing that you're going to have to go up against. And Spider-Man's huge, not just in gaming. He's huge in movies. He's huge in everywhere. People are going to be able to find it, no problem. Real easy, bam. Hey, here it is. It's going to take over any bit. I can't even imagine seeing marketing that's not geared towards it. Square is already having to fight a hill with Tomb Raider, but, whatever. They can get out. They're coming out before Spider-Man, if I'm remembering right. So they can kind of get it, but, So, does Disney have anything to do with the marketing of Kingdom Hearts? No, of Kingdom Hearts. Or actually, I don't know. That's going to be, I guess, either, because they own Marvel. I don't think Disney deals with the marketing at all when it comes to this. Now, I know that they have their own rule sets about what they're allowed to show and things like that, or, the whole development of the game is somewhat tied into Disney. They make a lot of the calls just on how they want their stuff to be handled, but I don't think that they deal with anything when it comes to what the hell was that?
It's just I'm on Reddit looking at news and stuff, and it's just Kratos drawing by me, and then Kratos drawing by me. Oh my god! Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, exactly. Like Liam's saying, Tomb Raider's going to get buried. And I don't see how Tomb Raider wouldn't get buried. And it's weird because if you remember, the first Tomb Raider sold like 3.4 million copies or whatever. And Square was saying they were disappointed with that. So doing something so close to something else that they know is huge is weird to me. And what else is weird is the fact that Tomb Raider as a whole got leaked. I feel like unless Tomb Raider is just absolutely not going to be ready until September, pulling it up a little bit more would probably help them, but I'm not going to mess with that too much. So Kingdom Hearts, with everything that they've shown, I think that there's no way that we don't see it be 2018. There's just no. And it's funny because, early this year, Saul, you were still really, really sticking to your guns about it's going to be a 2019 date. It's going to be a 2019
now that
date.
I've seen that is absolutely nuts.
And they were too confident. And I think that the only reason I was in the mindset that they would not be that confident sounding and then pull it to 2019 is that they already had to kind of they already had to kind of eat crow when it came time for Final Fantasy 15 to be delayed again after they were so smug to pull it forward.
Do you think the rumors of Final Fantasy 7 demo being bundled in is true?
I don't know.
With them scrapping CyberConnect,
wildest dreams. Yes, right? But that's not an expectation. That's just wildest dreams.
Yeah.
E3 will really determine whether or not I still think that's true. Now, E3 will probably be the announcement for it as well, though. So It's hard to say. I guess post E3, if they don't announce it, I'll tell you whether or not I'm more in the mindset that it may happen. But I know that specifically World End doesn't think that we're seeing anything. So Days Gone, I feel like it's going to be a February game.
Man,
so speaking of the chat, it just seems like a good February game. But
okay, so
any other news that happened this week you want to kind of touch on?
Not really.
I mean, the Black Ops thing was one thing.
That was one thing I was really, because I'm just excited. I'm a huge
glad
Black
you're
Ops
excited, man,
fan because I love. the Black Ops.
The first and only time I've ever been excited about a Call of Duty game was, and it's funny because the most hated one and the most hated trailer was the first trailer for Infinite Warfare. I was like, now I know people are hating on this, but if this turns out good, like if this turns out looking like this trailer does, I'm down, because it looked like Killzone, and I love Killzone, and it was honestly kind of close to Killzone, but in a good way.
Yeah.
So I mean,
so hopes. What do you hope to see at E3 for Sony specifically?
Well, we're gonna do a little bit of reader mail. So come on, hold up.
I thought you said we're not doing
but we're still gonna do the one you posted it on Twitter.
Well, that's for all the reader mail stuff for the bonus episode.
No, come on. We said
we never said nothing. I swear we just said that
we're gonna roll through them real quick because one of them I love. This is part of the reason I'm down to it. Onrush Impressions. I didn't get to play it, so I have to kind of cut that one. Sorry, Ryan. I really wanted to play it, but it didn't happen. We talked about the new Kingdom Hearts stuff, so we got that one covered. The one that I really liked is Mr. Steve Bitto, who said, build the roster for PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale 2?
I didn't like this question because of how like it doesn't work. Like I like the
why
question.
Does it not work?
Okay, because how are you gonna have Dante fighting against like Drake?
But what do you mean? Because how do you have Snake fighting against Donkey Kong?
I'm talking about in a Battle Royale game. How does this work?
No, he's talking about PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale 2, which is the Smash clone.
Was the original one called Battle Royale?
Yes.
No, I thought he was talking about the meme of the new Sony game announced as a boy.
No, the original game is called PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, shortened as PSASBR.
I swear.
So my point being, in a Smash-like setting.
Oh, see, I never played this game. that name now has ruined
Hold on,
me.
you telling me you never played PlayStation All Stars?
No, I did. It gave me motion sickness.
Anyway, okay, look, let's just say that the second game happens. It's awesome. It's
the Hunter from Bloodborne.
Okay, I agree.
Let's see here. Joel from The Last of Us.
Okay.
Ellie as a support super.
Okay.
He throws Ellie.
I'm willing.
She bites somebody's head off.
She stabs him in the back with a knife.
I guess so. We got Cloud because we gotta have Cloud.
Yeah.
Take him away from Nintendo Smash Brothers. We have Crash. And that's really it that I'm like I really would want to play as.
Liam said, "Get in the zone."
Come on, Saul, get in the zone. I tried. Alloy from Horizon. Hey, LGB, that's a good one.
Aloy should be in there.
2B.
Now, dude, if they could get 2B as a special character, oh my God, I would love it. Now, whether or not she'd end up being in there, she could be the Bayonetta.
Dad and Boy of War.
Obviously, the new Kratos would have to be in there.
It'd be cool to like, have Atreus on his back and him just like pick Atreus
Now,
up
it'd be
by the
really
shoulder,
weird because
throw
you would
him.
imagine that they would use the new Kratos, right? But what would be the chances that they would just have it to where the new Kratos is a skin for Kratos in general? But then you have to have the problem of how do you work in the Leviathan axe?
Or Atreus as like a support. Is he going to be like a fetus?
Yeah.
like, how do you do
I don't know. That'd be one of those weird things. But obviously, God of War, we had to have maybe. See, I don't think that we could have Atreus as a standalone character yet, obviously. So I'm going to go back to Cat and Raven were in the last one, or Cat was. Raven should be in there. That'd be cool, much like they did with Infamous Cole. I didn't like that they split Infamous into good and bad Cole. Even though the moveset was different, it was okay. I just felt like it was an unnecessary slot in the long run, and I always ended up using Evil Cole. I would say that a couple of the notable things that would need to be in there is now that Crash is back into the fold of everything, Crash Bandicoot would need to be in there. If they can find a way to make Spyro work, Spyro would be a good fit. I think those are obvious ones. While he may not be the most popular new character they've done, I think from a purely fighting standpoint and how fun he would be to work around with, different movesets, Knack would be really cool to see in that game. I think that there's different things. I don't know how you'd necessarily make it work, but if there's a way that you could put in
it would be cool to see William from Neo.
Yeah. And that would be another good one. But the other thing I would say is I don't know how you'd work it in, but from a graphical standpoint and like having weird fun with how do you make it a fighter, the character from Journey would be really interesting. Cool possible third-party ones would be Senua from Hellblade. I think that would be really cool. Put her back in there with Naruto. That'd be cool too because you'd kind of see like a continuation of Ninja Theory because Naruto was in the first game.
Oh, I thought you said Naruto.
No, Naruto is her is the woman from the Heavenly Sword. That's kind of I mean if we're talking about because the roster from the previous game I would want to make a comeback. I mean Spike from Ape Escape was cool. Even the Big Daddy and stuff are cool. Hihachi was kind of odd, but I mean, I get why he was in there. Ratchet and Clank would obviously need to be in there. There's not been just too much.
Sackboy.
I know that it sounds weird and nobody else would want to go for it, but I would really like to see at least one character from the Order in there. I mean, I could give me my boy Grayson. I know that you're saying no, but I personally would like it. I'm trying to think of any other like notable addition that they've done this gen that we've not touched. People help me out because I think Raven is a cool addition, but I guess we may just say that that's it.
I would love a Neo announcement. I don't know why I typed that in chat and said it out loud. My brain, I'm so sleepy right now. I'm gonna go home and record a Saul's Plays for Dark Souls 3. Dang, I think
it's too early for Neo 2 as well, but maybe not. I mean, it's possible. Neo did so well. Why would it be?
This guy says I love complaining about Destiny 2 while playing Destiny 2.
Well, that was the whole first game too. People complained about the first one. I saw, but we can go ahead and move into E3 hopes. And guys, we want to hear all y'all's E3 hopes, so let's throw them into these chat because we've already talked about it with the there's a thing because there's predictions with the bingo card, and I wanted the people to go wild and have fun with them. But I mean, I do think to an extent with the bingo card, you're kind of going to automatically pull towards what you think actually has a real chance of happening. So I'm going to say let's start with hopes, and dreams, and then we'll lead ourselves into expectations completely. So starting just crazy hopes and dreams, Saul. What is your wildest, like, no way is it going to happen, but let's just say it happens and it'd be crazy. What would you like to see them do?
Sony handheld 2.
And preferably not titled the Vita 2.
No.
Because while I don't mind that it's called the Vita, I do think that the Vita, naming it the Vita instead of the PSP 2 was already you had a PSP with 80 million users or 80 million sales at least, and you didn't build off of that at all. Because casual people are not really thinking about the fact that they don't know what a Vita is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why not pull forward and why not push forward specifically with PSP 2? That's kind of where I stand on that. But I mean,
no, I don't, Liam. I do not want Hannah Montana 2 nor the Surge
with the new Miley back in it.
I told y'all if we hit like a certain 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, I'll fully beat the Surge on stream. I'm not kidding. I would do it. I'll do a Saul. Instead of that, since I don't really have the capability to do that, I will play a Saul plays of the Surge entirely.
LTB.
Hold on.
No, man, it could be of anything. World End, whatever you want to see at E3 in general. I don't care what manufacturer, what publisher, whatever it is. But no, man, LTB's coming up with a tall order. Final Fantasy 16 with a throwback to the days of old Final Fantasies, but with modern adjustments.
I would love that. I would love a Final Fantasy styled 6 sprite art game.
So here's what I will say. If it was ever going to happen, right? Talking back now, sprite styled. I don't know if it'd go quite that hard.
I want a Pokemon game that's new.
But can you imagine this?
Styled.
Do you remember when Square was doing all this stuff to be way more forward thinking and trying to move the franchise in a very different way with 7 and 8, just to come back with 9, which was a very traditional Final Fantasy experience. Now I could see them doing something similar to that, but if I was going to see them do that again, I may see them go back towards something that's a little more similar to maybe Final Fantasy 10 or 12, but with some modern adjustments to it. I'm not sure. I think the biggest question with Final Fantasy is how do they choose to move away at this point from real-time combat? Because obviously...
Absolutely. They go back to turn-based.
Do they?
They do.
Because
they should.
Final Fantasy is a huge series. What they're more worried about than anything is getting it to sell. And while there may be a lot of people who have lamented Final Fantasy 15 for a lot of reasons,
right.
Final Fantasy 15 is still sold massive.
Yeah, but they should stop pandering to the new people and then give the old people what they want so the old people can come out of the woodworks, because I guarantee there's more old fans than there are new.
New Hitman game, I'm fairly positive is going to happen, Blake. I would be really surprised if it wasn't. Look at that. Josh is back with his August 24th Kingdom Hearts 3. We talked about it.
Yeah, we did.
We talked about it. So that's definitely one. Now, Final Fantasy 16 in space. Now you're getting into... I don't know because...
Give me high
Well, you got to think
fantasy.
about this. I mean, high fantasy is cool. I don't have a problem with that. But here's the biggest thing about Final Fantasy going towards space. I've thought about it plenty of times. Like, do they go? Because they've pushed the edge more and more, right? As they've gotten more and more sci-fi with different things. But I think that they really want to keep themselves on ground, because when you think about space and you think about Square Enix, they've already got Star Ocean. While it's not a great series, it's been a great series before, but while it's not a great selling series necessarily, it is still a Square property. I don't know if they would go that far with it. I'm not really sure. Maybe.
Okay, so my second dream that will never ever happen.
Final Fantasy 30th, if it happens.
What?
Oh. You don't remember the rumor last year that Final Fantasy 30th?
That would be really cool. But my other dream would be that the Final Fantasy 7 we've been seeing is having a handheld edition made for it, for the handheld. Never gonna happen.
Okay. You're saying for this
this
fake
crazy handheld.
Yeah, sure.
Never gonna happen. No, well, it could never be a thing. Out of the realm of possibility in this time and space. So that was just a small one there.
If I follow into yours for this great, whatever this new handheld is, right?
Right.
Crisis Core remake specifically for that handheld.
Yeah, there you go. I'm telling you, unlimited potential if Sony would put their work to it. But I know there's a lot of legal issues there. So my last dream that's becoming more and more of a reality very slowly is going to be one of the same as last year. It's going to be Bloodborne 2. And I think we're going to see it.
Okay, so I know that World End's like just super because of... I think he said something about an inside source on Reset Era said it's not Bloodborne 2. But let's just say in this crazy world of people being, it's a misdirection.
Dark Souls, the prototype for Dark Souls, I forgot, like Dark Prodigy, Dark something. It was not known as Dark Souls in development.
And then it ended up becoming a Souls
Dark
game
Souls.
in the
So
long run.
I'm curious as to if that's what they're going with this route again. What was it? It wasn't called Dark Race.
Crisis Core, shout out, Nick. It's so
Yeah.
good. It's about we have talked
Top
about
5
it
Final Fantasy
endlessly
games.
in the Discord and to a million different places that we just need Crisis Core.
See,
Either an HD. I don't even care if it's HD or what.
I agree that like Final Fantasy 12 style too, because that's almost harping back to the original style. It's almost like a steampunky high fantasy mixture.
Sure. And I think that so you're talking about just as a world aesthetic and kind of like general placing.
Yeah, time era.
In a high fantasy. I won't say high fantasy, but I mean fantasy with a little bit of steampunk. I think that 12 had really cool stuff in it. And you know what was cool about 12 is it was set in the same world, and I can't think of the name of the world right now because I'm just drawing a blank. But 12 is technically set in the same world as Tactics.
Yeah, it's
that's
Ivalice.
awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's a great world, and especially Ramza, because I really thought Dark Ring, not Dark Race, Dark Ring.
Dark
what
Ring.
Dark Souls used to be called, or was called during prototypes.
So here's that's the other thing, though. I mean,
Ivalice,
Ivalice.
Ivalice.
But how trusty is the Reset Era source? Who knows? Because here's the thing about Reset Era, it could be anybody. I could just go on Reset Era and be like, hey, I work for From Software, and I'm saying that this is not Bloodborne 2. But let's just go off of this. What I was talking to Saul about is, does it have to be Bloodborne 2? Can it not be a spiritual successor to Bloodborne, which is Bloodborne itself was a spiritual successor to Demon Souls in the Souls series? So it may not be Bloodborne 2, but it could be the next, I guess we'll call it second party exclusive in this sense.
It could be Kingsfield too.
And it really could be. It could be a number of games. I mean,
I really hope it's not, because that's going to be
here's my
weird.
thing. I don't think that Shadows Die Twice makes for a very. I don't think it makes a good game name.
I don't think it does either.
So I feel like it's a project name, right? And that somehow it ties into the story or what's going on.
What was that called?
I mean, we'll see. I think they've already kind of confirmed, or at least they didn't confirm. But Bloodborne, My Perfect 3D Castlevania, that's actually a really good.
It's. I'm telling you, it's what it is.
You know, speaking of 3D Castlevania, I never played the one. What was it called that everybody loved? That the second one ended up getting just I mean, people hated it.
Hold on, you're not talking about the Curse of Shadows.
Was it called Curse of Shadows?
I'm pretty sure it was. You're talking about the one that was on 360?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was the one that Castlevania. Colin Moriarty just did a video about him and
Lord of Shadow.
Same.
Thank you. LTV hit it. Okay,
same thing.
Lords of Shadow. I've heard really good things about that one, and then people hated
Curse
the
of
second
Darkness
one.
is what I was thinking of. I mixed them up. But yeah, like there's a really good Colin Moriarty video. You guys should really check out. That is like a detail of him going into behind the scenes stuff with Konami when he worked at IGN, about how Konami did not like him for his reviews because they were honest and such. It's a really good video on his side quest channel. I suggest everybody to check out if you get the chance, and if you like Colin Moriarty. It's a
if you hate him, then stay away.
No, wrong mouse.
Or just go there and be mean if you want to. I don't really support that, but I mean, hey, it's your life.
So that's all of my dreams.
Man, you don't have anything crazier than that?
Not really. I mean, like, they've already pretty much ruined everything with early release or early.
Okay, yeah, that's true, because now you feel like you start to get in your mind, well, there's only so much. Like, let's just say that the presser is 90 minutes long, which it won't be probably, but let's just say maybe it is. All right, so 90-minute long presser. Let's just say they give 10 minutes to Spider-Man, 10 minutes to Days Gone. I mean, not Days Gone, but 10 minutes to Death Stranding, 10 minutes to what is it? Ghost of Tsushima, and then the other one's Last of Us 2. So that's 40 minutes of your 90 right there, right?
Right.
And that's just being generous. Maybe they're going to give more. Maybe it's 15 minutes per. Then we're, 15, 30, 45. We're at 60 minutes now. So what does the other 30 minutes end up leaving?
Never mind. I thought I was mixing.
I won't go to be mean, but I won't support him either. Hey, look, at least you're being consistent with yourself, Blake. No negativity, right?
What are we talking about?
Colin Moriarty.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what are we? I was like, I looked over there because I closed out a chat window and I needed context. I thought that there was. So I guess I'll go ahead. We'll do it all.
I'm going to agree real quick with World End. Yes, if High Moon Studio finally gets to come out, yes, they're the developer. High Moon.
I know who they are.
Okay,
I'm just trying to think.
If they get to finally come out from the shadow of all these stupid Call of Duty aiding development things, I cannot stand that that's where they've been relegated. It's ridiculous.
Were they
to
any
me.
good?
The Cybertron
the first
games?
2 games, yeah,
dude, they're so good.
And they don't have a re-release on PS4.
Sadly,
but I bet they're on Steam though.
Man, I tell you, dude, War for they are War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron, both great.
Why is this search so much?
What?
Fall of Cybertron for PS4. It is on PS4. It's on. Fall is on PS4.
Oh, you know what? I think World End told me this.
Wait, hold on. Is this? No, this is it.
There it is. Fall of Cybertron is on PS4.
So is that a good game? Because it's Fall then War in the series, right?
No, War's first, Fall's next. So it's World End is World End on PS4? I mean, World End is War for Cybertron on PS4?
No, it's not. Fall of Cybertron is.
See, LTB, but I think that Platinum are working on something else. Now, whether or not it's the Nier remake, which is what I really hope it is, who knows? I think that we're not going to quite see a new Nier game in terms of the sense of like a brand new story and everything that we've not seen. But I do think that regardless of whether Yoko's involved, because he doesn't necessarily have to be, if they did a full remake of Nier and just kept his source material, he wouldn't necessarily have to be involved. But if he was involved, I would like it, because I would like him to I'd like him to make small changes that he probably had to make. He had to concede a little bit on in the original release. Hard to say, but yeah, I did see the leak, Nick, about the man. It was a ridiculous leak list, actually, with talking about Shadows Die Twice, being Bloodborne 2, and all this stuff, and Kingdom Hearts getting released and all that.
Yeah, I really want to talk about how good that leak list is. A
couple of people want it to be radio silent on it.
So nobody wants spoilers. So people don't want spoilers for that. So I'm not gonna go into it, but I'm super excited. I guess what we'll do. I can't remember if this is what we did last year. Instead of doing my dreams and your dreams and my hopes and your hopes, I'll just do my hopes now, and then that'll finish me off for the episode in terms of that. But I'm hoping to get a solid release date for Kingdom Hearts 3. I think that's a given when it comes down to Sony's E3. And by the way, guys, let us know your hopes in the chat below, so you can go ahead and comment on some of that too.
Oh, they are.
But yeah, I really, really hope we get the Kingdom Hearts 3 release date. I know that's not asking for too much with what we've been shown now. So
we're going to get it. There's almost no way we won't, yeah.
I hope it does not get delayed. That's another thing.
Well, no, see, your hopes and dreams are kind of in the same thing. So I guess, are you going towards your expectations now?
Oh, my expectations. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, making sure that we were talking about the right thing.
Because, my hopes are more realistic. My dreams aren't. But, let's see. What else?
Man, why would they put Fall on PS4 and not War?
That's why I saw it.
So
it's like,
stupid.
Why do you put the second game? And you have to play the first game in that series to understand, don't you? It is a continuous story.
I would say yes, but I mean, you don't have to.
Well, that goes nope. That
War's
automatically
awesome.
goes all chances of me playing out the window because of that. But so I'm hoping to see. Well, we've already clarified that. My hopes are my expectations. I'm hoping to see a solid release date for Days Gone that is not too far into 2019. I know that game's ready to come out. I know it's pretty much gone gold at this point. I know it can come out tomorrow if they wanted it to, after all physical stuff's been done. I guarantee you and it's just not because of the cramped release schedule this year. That's exactly what's going on, and I'm just wanting to play it. So I want it to be early. Well, I want to stop hearing about it. Same goes for Spider-Man. Can't wait for Spider-Man. Want to play it. That's why I'm glad Detroit's coming out in next week, because then we don't have to hear about it at E3 again.
Thankfully.
But I know that we're going to get Last of Us 2 gameplay. That's pretty much a given, but I hope to get the release date for that as well. If not only release date, at least a release window of sorts. So that at least we can know where it's coming from. And the biggest thing on my list that I am expecting to be there, but I'm not quite sure will, is the answer to my prayers. And this is something that has been teased in spoilers and such, but I don't know how true it is. And people are saying The Last of Us 2020, 2019.
I see it. Here's the thing about The Last of Us. I think that they're going to try and somewhat coincide its release with in between the I'm not even worried about that as much, but in between the whatever announcement happens for the PS5 and the PS5's release, I think they're going to try and release it to be that last really great swan song, potentially at least, for PS4, the same as the original was for PS3. I don't think that that's a weird thing. They're known to do that, because what makes you more hyped for the PS5 than to know that they were still supporting the PS4 in such a great way?
Right.
the same year that the PS5 released.
So I
agree.
agree.
It depends on where that goes down.
But I really am dreaming that this will be there. In the same sense, I'm hoping because of so many leaks that's been talking about it. But it's Devil May Cry 5. I really want that game to come out finally. But my last biggest one. This is more
real quick about your Devil May Cry thing. Do you, and I don't know how I feel about it, do you not find it weird to come back and say Devil May Cry 5 after you've rebooted the series?
No, like I think it could work.
I'm not saying it can't work. It just is a little odd.
No, it is, but I think that the poor reception of DMC is proven enough, to go ahead and just reboot it because people will enjoy that more to have old Dante
cancel
back.
To cancel the reboot just to have old Dante.
Right,
I mean, that's fine,
but I am 99% sure that. Get ready for it, you guys. Like I said, more of a hope than a dream. But Death Stranding is PT, boys. Let's get this going on. There's video evidence out there. It is Death Stranding. It is PT. It is all going to come out. I guarantee you, Kojima's mind's going to be blown. I'm going to cream my pants on this carpet behind me. It's going to happen. And when it does, I'll make you a bet right now.
Are you going to show your nipple?
I will shave my head.
Hashtag free the nips is coming back, son.
I will shave my head if it is announced.
No, you won't.
Okay, fine. No point in trying to argue there.
Okay, all right, fine. Hey, it's on camera. Shake on this. Everybody, you hold him to it.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
If
serious.
He doesn't do it,
if
I'll give you his address.
If Death Stranding is revealed to be PT, I will go in there, wash my hair, bring out the beard trimmer on stream, and shave my head. That's how excited I want to see PT.
Right. Tell you what, we're going to do this. I'm not going to have it in there. I'm going to have the bucket and everything in here.
Oh, okay, that works too. But Brett, go ahead. What is your dreams first, hopes and expectations second?
Okay, so first of all, Nick, that the Avengers the Avengers game from I think it was Eidos is what's getting it. I don't know, or it's Crystal. Actually, I'm sorry. Regardless, whoever got it was Square. I don't know. The fact that we've not heard anything further on it, considering how much we've heard about Spider-Man and they were announced not too terribly far from each other, is odd to me. So I feel like they are very far away from announcement, but who knows? See, exactly. I don't think we'll see anything at this E3, but maybe, I don't know. It just depends. Maybe it'll be a PSX surprise they save or some other conference this year, but it seems unlikely. Maybe save it for next year. With that being said, my craziest dreams of things that I actually really want to see happen, and some of them are mixed with like legit expectation. So I'll kind of I'll ride that line. Very first thing, a Crash Team Racing announcement.
Okay.
Of a remake for that, handled in the same way that the remake was for the original trilogy, where the entire time what you're seeing is 100% original game with new graphics built up on top of it, and maybe small physics tweaks that they have to do because obviously they are changing an engine. Which, you want it to feel somewhat like the original while also looking so freaking good, but it also kind of looks like you remember the original, which is something that they evoked so incredibly well with the Crash trilogy. So, I mean, with that being said, I would say there's like I'm gonna go as far as to say a 65% chance that we see that. Like a legitimate 65% chance that we see this game announced. Now, from there, I don't know. Hardest, like craziest things I want to see, and this is actually going to say it's something I don't want to see. So this is my hope and dream, even though my expectation is that we will. I expect to see Star Wars, maybe not necessarily announced here, but maybe I expect to see Star Wars to an extent announced in Kingdom Hearts 3. I hope that we don't see Star Wars in Kingdom Hearts 3 because I feel like it's unnecessary and I don't personally want to see it.
Liam says, what wild bet will Brett make that may cost him a bald head? That's me that'll have a bald head. And
he's saying like to level the playing field.
Oh,
what
I thought
crazy
he was missing
thing?
it.
No, what crazy thing?
Go ahead and tie this into your dreams real quick. Let us know what would Crash Team Racing do it?
No, I've got it. And it's only if it happens at this E3.
And World End. PT was a horror game, and Death Stranding is. Well, I don't know if we know it's an action adventure game, not yet, but we will
see.
We'll find out.
But more importantly, this is where I'm going to go because I'm glad that Saul brought up his PT thing because he was gushing about it when he first got here. He was going into Google.
Hold up.
He was going into Google as Illuminati state. connecting a bunch of weird, stupid things that don't really
I'm
matter.
gonna send you guys a video. Nah, partners. I'm gonna send y'all a video in the chat.
All right, so, here, Liam. Here's my thing. It's not going to happen. I know it without a shadow of a doubt, so I'm willing to risk my head on it. Are you ready, Saul?
Go ahead.
A sequel to the Order 1886. That's all I need. If they do it this E3 and they come out and say 1887,
I'll say, boy, shake hands, because I actually think that's gonna happen this E3.
I don't.
Why?
The fact that they've been so damned radio silent from anything involving, I mean, like, you've not seen. Now, of course, I will say this much. Did they learn a lesson by showing the order a little too early and then not being able to, they had to delay it a little bit and then probably had to release it a little ahead of what they were hoping to, even after it got delayed the first time. My point being, Sony hyped it too much, right? How do you fix that if you ever do a sequel? You try and hype it in a more manageable way. You try and show it in a way that's more, productive the first time around. The thing about the order that messed with everybody is that they showed it, but didn't show much about what it was going to be or how it was going to work. And then they started gushing about it once, Game Informer came around to it. So what they could do is learn from that and try and be a little more modest with it, but still hype accurately. But with that being said, that's where I want to fall on. Is it impossible? No, it's not impossible. Is it probable? I think very unlikely. So there you go. Let's see what happens.
Throw a link down there in chat for you guys about my Death Stranding stuff. Okay, so we have that. What else? What else are you dreaming to see there? Another handheld, possibly, potentially?
Okay, yeah. In a wildest hopes and dreams, for some reason, Disney World just said, "Here's some magic, sprinkle it wherever you want, and this will happen." Yeah, man, a successor to the Vita, any kind of new handheld, I would love. Now, am I saying it's great for business or for any reason if it makes sense for them to do? I don't know, man. It's just really hard to say. Like, the more you look at it, it's like we're seeing Switch be a success while basically just being a handheld. And most people I know do not play their Switch outside of handheld mode, which is extremely interesting.
We had Abel Tefera say Rhett and Link 2.0.
Who the hell is this?
I don't know. Maybe some random Twitch person, but I don't
Abel
know.
Tefera.
I'll take it as a compliment. I like how aggressive you got there. It's just somebody coming by to say hi. They pay us a compliment, and then you're like, "Who is this?"
I'm just saying that this is what it came down to. I thought it was interesting.
That name does sound familiar, though.
Abel Tefera. Nothing about genre or anything. What is it? Oh, yeah. So we don't. I don't know. Actually, Blake, they did say that Death Stranding. Kojima did talk a little bit about what it was going to be. I do think he said it was going to be an action adventure. Oh no, I know who Rhett and Link are.
No, I'm talking about you, my good sir/woman.
Sir/woman.
We didn't know if you were somebody from our Discord or from YouTube, or if you
open world third person shooter, one
person.
playable character with focus on two more characters playable. It has a big online component, something related to live dev. So yeah, look, that's exactly. I mean, World End's pretty right on that. I mean, that's as much as he said. Now, can he be trying to completely fool us? Possibly. Who the heck knows, man?
Look, when you die in Death Stranding, you go to a purgatory that is first person. What was PT? A purgatory in first person.
So I know, but you sound like a crazy person, and I want you to know
y'all
that.
a video. Watch the video.
Oh,
it is entertaining. I will say though that obviously this Konami would never fire Kojima publicly and do it all for a joke, but I will say that it is very interesting to go and watch pretty much all that guy's videos. It's very entertaining.
Man, I don't know, Saul. I know you're ringing on a whim, but yeah, but that's our shake too. If the Order 1887, or even it doesn't have to be, because I won't even do that, because I could say that the wording could be the Order 1887, right? But where I'm going to go is just if there's a sequel to the Order.
I have one.
Bam,
Liam.
We got it.
I have a tinfoil hat. I'm tired of all the governments trying to take my thoughts from me. I have to keep them in there somehow or another.
Crazier dreams. I mean, I think that's probably the craziest in my mind. I just really don't feel in the tea leaves that we see, or that there would be any reason. But at the same time, I will admit there was nothing in my mind that would have ever made me think that we were going to get a Knack sequel, but we did. And the Knack sequel was so good.
I mean, so you very well may be shaving your head. I know I'm not, because obviously, but like you, there's
obviously you're over here fighting for it. Now
obviously I wouldn't though. But yours is actually like a potential thing that may happen. Like, it's very in the realm of possibility.
I'm not saying it's in the realm of possibility, but I don't know. We see Sony drop enough of their IP that it doesn't really matter, right? Drop enough of their deuces. I hate you.
It's alive. I'm tired. I'm getting to that stage of like.
So I mean, I don't know. That's kind of where I stand. I mean, like, craziest things that could happen. Crash Team Racing is not crazy. So I mean, random hopes and dreams. I would really like to see Bloodborne 2. I'm really there with you. I would like to see what Shadows Die Twice is in general, and whether they're going to show it now or not is
they have to.
Big up in the air thing. Because when did they show it last?
PSX. No. Game Show Awards.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Real quickly. So I mean, it's been 6 months.
That's the only time they've showed it.
So I mean, I don't know. When you're dealing with 6 months like that, 6 months is enough time for me. If you're going to tease it, you got to come through on something. So I mean, with that being said,
was the game show was after Paris Games Week and PSX, wasn't it?
Nope. It was right before PSX.
That's what I meant before.
Yeah, right before it.
Because I thought I remember going into PSX and stuff, thinking there was going to be a trailer of this, and it never was. So E3 has to be the best place to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
if there's not a trailer at E3,
and from or that developer now, right? I mean, they deserve the time and space at E3. They if they get it, they need it.
Was it from or was it Japan Studio?
It was from.
Was it From Software?
Yeah,
Okay.
they didn't mention Japan Studio at all. If they did,
I couldn't remember which logo popped up.
See, now if it said From and then Japan Studio popped
From
up,
could be Armored Core. Even
different ball
obviously, it's like
the biggest thing is
that
even the trailer, the teaser being at the Game Awards, doesn't even solidify if it's going to be a third party game or not. So I think that's one of the biggest things.
Shadows Die Twice will be big at E3. That's what Insider said. I agree, World.
Well, let's hope this Insider's got some truth behind it. I don't care if it's Bloodborne 2 or not. I mean, I would like to see a Bloodborne 2, but at the same time, maybe leave Bloodborne to be its own great thing that it was and give me another new great experience that I love. And I mean, World, and I think you mentioned that they talked about it being iterating on the Soul-style combat to an extent. So it may be exactly what Bloodborne was, another new Soul-style game, while also he said that it was going to be a multi-platform game. So there we go. If the Insider's correct, then we know it's going to be multi-platform. So who knows what it's going to be? I mean, going forward, the Souls games, I mean, they've said that Dark Souls 3 was going to be the last Souls game, right? Bloodborne is a Souls-style game, but that's also something. So if it's going to be multi-platform, it'll steer away from that.
Dark Souls 3 was going to be the last Soul or Dark Souls game.
So technically, they could start up. Black Souls or Demon Souls. I'm pretty sure is Demon Souls. I'm pretty sure is.
I'm trying to think like what would be a cool name to have.
I don't know. Fractured Souls?
No.
That seems too much.
Surge of Souls?
Oh, God.
The Surge of Souls?
So, I don't know. I'm going to move into expectations now because the thing is, you are right. My hopes and dreams that I had like going wild, I've already said that Near HD, I think, is the thing I really hope to see from Square. Or if it ends up being on Sony's stage, awesome. That's great. I want to see Near HD at least. A remaster with with a new separate trophy list, which it would be maybe even a slight restructuring of the trophies. I don't know though, because the first one's an interesting platinum. I just don't know if I want to dig myself into doing it. Angel Souls, are we going into Diablo territory there?
Angel Soft. This video has been brought to you guys by Angel Soft.
Yeah,
Tenchu would be weird though because like
he's saying it would clash with Ghost
and a potential Neo too.
Souls Definitive Edition featuring Dante from Devil May Cry.
The time has come, and so have I. I love that song, dude. That's. I'm telling you, that is a good song. I'm gonna link another video in the chat for you guys to go listen to.
God, Saul, you're just a linker.
I love it.
Okay, so Near HD or Near Remake, preferably Near Remake with the same engine as Near Automata. I would love it so much. I'm going to go out. Here's the more weird thing. If they do a Nier remake, the biggest thing is, do they choose the Gestalt Nier or Replicant Nier to remake? I would imagine because they know that people don't care about whether or not they're different to cater to the North American market, that they would go with Brother Nier instead of Replicant Nier instead of Gestalt Nier. If they went that way, I'm fine. I just really want to play that game again and, maybe put some of the things in they had to take out. But at the same time, the first game has a really good story, so they don't need to do much.
Most inconvenient spot a headphone jack could be in. Okay.
Yeah, Neo 2. I would gladly take a Neo 2. I have no reason against that. And again, I'm sure it's in the works as well too. LTB. It's just, do we see it now? Maybe too soon. But you iterate on games way sooner and way quicker than you do starting a new game from scratch. So it's hard to say. But Saul, expectation wise, I think that we will see. Okay. Oh, I know. I'm over here thinking too Sony minded. If I had to go real legitimate expectation, real legitimate hope and dream, we already talked about Elder Scrolls 6. If we do not see Elder Scrolls 6 come,
I thought we were only doing Sony.
No. This is across the board, man. We said that to World End. So what? Hold on. You got more hopes and dreams?
I was gonna say
Because one of my other ones is
I
we've
was
already
gonna
talked about
say Elder
PlayStation All
Scrolls.
Stars Battle Royale 2. I would love.
I would say an Elder Scrolls, but I also want to say I hope and dream for a Halo reboot. But that's it. That's all for me.
Okay, so if it's not Elder Scrolls 6, which is where I would like to see it go, I say that I would enjoy that. I'd be very, very, very hyped. But I would also like to see Starfield and whether or not this rumored Starfield exists.
That's like the Elder Scrolls, like Elite Dangerous, isn't it?
I mean, basically, it was the space-based Bethesda RPG that they're talking about. So, I mean, if you think about their RPG DNA and their kind of genre that they niched out for themselves specifically, that play style, I think that with a more sci-fi heavy hand would be really cool.
Too early for Blue Point's new remake. Any guesses what that would be? Good question, World. Demon Souls. I'm still sticking to that. That was another hope I forgot about too. I had to write down a notebook, and like the dummy I am, I forgot my notebook.
That's interesting. LTB says playing God of War made him want an Elder Scrolls game for sure. Do you play the Elder Scrolls games in third person, LTB? I mean, I'm not judging. I actually think that Skyrim was the first game they did that you could have played the entire thing in third person, and it would have been very, very serviceable. Or if it's just the way the world felt, and when you're running around and exploring, if it made you feel. Okay, I was just curious. He said nope. So I don't know. I think those are kind of like my biggest crazy hopes because going off of what I really expect, I mean, we know about Prey 2, so we're going to see Prey 2. What?
No, just go on. Just go on.
We're going to see Prey. We're going to see Prey 2. I'm sorry, not Prey. We're going to see Rage 2. We're going to see a bunch of things. I mean, I think that we probably get a release window for Rage 2. I don't really know if that's what we're going to see for sure from them. God, Saul, stop it.
I'm just laughing. Just go ahead.
Will it be Elder Scrolls 6 or Skyrim 2? Okay, first of all, Josh, I hate when people call it Skyrim 2. I know that people really think that that's going to happen because that was the first game in the Elder Scrolls series. It was just a literal massive success. Like, they didn't even... I don't know if they even expected that. I don't think it would be Skyrim 2. I'm pretty sure that that's just going to be gone, and we don't have to really worry about that. I think that they know that their name is big enough, and we saw with Fallout 4 happening that Fallout 4 outsold Skyrim. I think that their name is all they need. So if you say, hey, it's a Bethesda Softworks game made by the same people who made Skyrim, and you say, hey, it's a new Elder Scrolls, bam, that's all you need. You don't need Skyrim 2.
I don't want a Skyrim 2.
I would prefer it to be in a new area.
I'll fight them.
Who cares where? Maybe
Todd Howard.
Maybe Ellesmere. Maybe. I don't know.
It just works.
Todd Howard. Do you think Arcane Studio future? Man, I don't know. Arcane is the problem with Arcane. I don't think we see them at this E3, right? It's been too close to Prey. Prey came out.
No, I think we're gonna get the Prey DLC thing happened today. The moon thing. Did you not see that?
No, I didn't.
It was like a clip of the game. And then like a clip of the moon.
That game didn't do very well either, but as we know of anything from Bethesda, they are all down to give studios that are not doing too well or games that have not done too well.
Look, I'm dead serious. Like
I'm not saying you're lying.
It came out
yesterday. It released, or is it just a tease?
No, just tease.
Okay, yeah. So
and like
we may
Arkham
see them
themselves or Arcane themselves have.
But what I meant was that there wouldn't be a new Arcane game.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
So I mean, in terms of their future, content. It's hard to say. Gen design, yeah. Now, whether or not, I mean, it's a hope. The thing about that is I don't know what I want from Gen Design. I think that Gen Design, being the old Team Ico, basically, what I want to see from them more than anything is for them to do unapologetically what they've always done, and I want them to just put it out there and show me what it is I want from them because I'm almost positive that anything they make, I will enjoy. So I'm not worried about anything.
Yeah, I still need to play.
Yeah, but LGB, I don't know. I hope Arcane has a solid future. I think that the games have reviewed well. But even if a game reviewed well and they were critically received well, it does not necessarily mean the studio has a future. But I don't know what they can move on to because they make very specific types of games that I love. But if you take that away from them and try and make them make something that's more palatable possibly or palatable for somebody, it would be really hard to say, like, I don't want to take away their studio DNA that they have that I love so much. But at the same time, can they continue to make games that they apparently are loving to make? Because even though Prey ended up being called Prey, they made that game already. It was more or less Bethesda saying, hey, we've got the Prey IP, let's slap it on there. The game was going to be that way anyway, so it was obviously a passion work for them. I hope that they get to keep doing that, but I'm not sure. Yeah, the image with the troll or whatever it was, that giant thing, and the girl looks very, very reminiscent, and it pulls a lot towards me for the old game. So, I mean, I would say that if Gen Design come and it is something with a partnership with Sony, great. If it's something that they're doing third party, that's fine. I just want to make sure that the game's getting supported the way it is. I do like that Sony were so patient with them and let them make that game. But I don't think The Last Guardian sold very well. I'm pretty sure that they had numbers showing that it didn't. So I don't know if Sony really wants to get in bed with them again, unless it's just to make a statement that, you know, it is something that's not available anywhere else. But I don't know if he would want to necessarily work with them. Doom 2 is a possibility, going back into hopes. And then, of course, Josh just said it. But I think now that we know for sure...
I'd be excited for Doom 2.
Now that we know for sure that it is not ID Software who are making... What are you doing, Saul? Now that we know that it's not ID Soft making Rage 2, and we know that it's just ID in collaboration with Avalanche, I think that does open up ID to make whatever they want, and it's been 2 years since we've seen Doom, so I don't think a Doom 2 would be too crazy to see. Whether or not they can iterate on Doom in such a way that would be really cool, I don't quite know. But if they do, hey, awesome. Because, I mean, Doom was a good game. And seeing them come back with another one would be really cool. I would like to see them do a little bit more to kind of scale the worlds up and maybe even try a little bit more of direct story. But at the same time, that may take away from the flow that they managed to put in the last game. So I think that that's important to kind of see, too. But
this video has 47 million views.
Yeah. It's a Pokemon theme song. Why would it not?
It's not official, though. How's this not been flagged? I'm hoping to see Doom 2, and honestly, something from Gen Design would be kind of cool, because harkening back what you were saying about that poster, but realistically, a Fallout by Obsidian, I know it's not going to happen, but a Fallout by Obsidian would be amazing.
So this is going back to your hopes and
No,
dreams.
just kind of just talking at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I keep seeing Doom 2 and stuff and seeing things that people want.
I'll tell you, being live to do this episode has completely thrown off my...
Oh, no, you have no idea.
But my train of thought is a million different ways right now. But hey, you know what? We'll see what happens. Saul, I think that there's one thing that is bothering me the most, is that Sony talked so much about showing these 4 games, right? And then showing... I just want you guys to know that Saul's listening to the Bob the Builder theme song, and I don't know why.
I don't know how I got to this. I was listening to Devil May Cry and it came up to this. Like, literally, I was listening to Devil May Cry and
you know
now
what?
it's playing
Thank you,
Bob
Josh.
the Builder.
Thank you.
Skate 4,
that is exactly
yes.
right. Skate 4 or Skate Reboot. If it comes
Wait, what's
back as
going
just Skate, the way that we saw them do with Need for Speed, I'm fine with that. I would like to just see the Skate games come back. I think that there's something so great about the way that those games played very specifically. I don't think I've seen a better skateboarding game done since.
Splinter Cell, yeah.
Splinter Cell, I don't have... Now, that's more of an expectation because that's been basically leaked a million times and talked about a lot. I think it's time to see that game come back. But, I mean...
Blake said I'd kill my grandma for skateboarding. I'd kill someone. I don't know who.
But my thing being is that I don't think we've seen another skateboarding game since then be better, right? So, I mean, if...
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 was pretty good.
I hate you, Saul. I don't know. Splinter Cell's expected. I don't know. Now, one of the rumors is that it's going to come out as an Xbox exclusive. Seems like a very odd thing, but
if it's not on PC, I'd buy an Xbox.
Yeah, you like Splinter Cell more than I do.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Skate 4. I'm sorry.
No, Splinter Cell.
I was listening to the audio to make sure the audio is good.
And you said it wouldn't mess you up.
No, I was zoned out listening to the audio. I'm not speaking to myself.
You weren't
I'm still
listening
good.
to Bob the Builder?
Do you hear me? Do you see Bob the Builder up anymore? No, you don't. But
Can
he
you
can
fix
fix
Saul?
it. He can. I can't.
Okay.
He can fix my heart after this E3.
Now, Assassin's Creed reboot, I don't know.
Well, there was an Assassin's Creed thing today, wasn't there?
I had a conversation with Seth, actually, about Assassin's Creed, and I've been curious, a lot of people, how they feel about it. Where do you go with Assassin's Creed, right? Because...
What?
The reason that Assassin's Creed Origin worked, and I actually liked Origin, which is, that was my first time liking one in a while, but the thing that made me like Origin specifically was the fact that they changed every bit of what made the previous ones clunky and non-responsive that I didn't like. The combat changing to a more, when the world was that?
It's a comics of Assassin's Creed that's in World War II.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, what? Conviction? Oh yeah,
Dynasty.
It was an Xbox exclusive.
But no, that's not it.
The thing about that is that Origin worked on a gameplay level because they changed everything that the original games did. Origin kind of went more towards like the R2L2, moving all the combat around and changing the way that you went out and not being so stealth-driven and letting you have the ability to be stealthy if you wanted to, but also go out and do balls deep if you really wanted to. You could really go out there and attack. And it felt fluid and it felt fun and it had a nice big open world that felt much better than the previous ones to me. That I had played, to be fair. And I'd seen some of Unity, and Unity just me. So, I mean, I would like to see them move forward with Origin, but how do you go forward with Origins? Because the reason Origins works is that the Assassin's Guild does not exist yet. Everyone knows that. That's not spoiler territory. This was the way that they built into it, and they knew that they had to, like, the whole end of this game is we've got to be in the shadows. So, how do you move forward with this great combat and great opening of the world that they did that made the game feel so much better, but also go forward in a way that doesn't require them to be? So one of the things that I talked about is, like, at this point, it's all out, no more stealth. We just got to do what we got to do because stuff's going on. That has to do with the normal Assassin's Creed storyline that I'm not super abreast on. And then from there, like, what can you do that makes it okay for, like, some people talked about moving it into the modern day, but if you move it into the modern day, it would want to pull more towards like a Watch Dogs style where they're going towards shooting and stuff like that.
That would still be cool though, like silenced weapons, like sniper rifles. And
yeah,
pistols
and Josh
stuff.
says go to Greece with Aya, but the thing about that is,
Yeah.
that's going towards setting up, new stuff. But the end of the game makes it a point to say that they've got to live life in the shadows and not be so seen. So it's almost like they're saying that this game is going to be a one-off specifically of the way it played. I don't necessarily know that I want that. I really want them to continue forward. So I think,
is life really going by that fast? Did Origins come out last year?
yes.
Oh my god!
Now here's the other thing. I want them to do exactly what they did with Origins and take a year off again and come back with another game next year. I don't want to see it this
quality.
year. So I don't know, man. It's yeah, exactly. Watch Dogs is Assassin's Creed Modern. So
Yeah, but Watch Dogs.
but a lot of
way
people are
too
talking about
goofy
from
on
the
Watch
Assassin's
Dogs
Creed
2.
story that goes on that they would eventually move completely into modern day. But I don't know. I don't know enough about the storylines as a whole, even with what I learned from Origins. I think that Origins was just a really good game, and if they could stick with that style, I would love it. How do they do it from a narrative standpoint and tying it into the rest of the series? I'm not sure. So whether we see it this E3, I don't know, because Ubisoft's pressers are always very odd, and I can't really think of what Ubisoft's going to have, but I guess Splinter Cell is Ubisoft, so I mean that could be in the tea leaves. Whether or not, I'm assuming we're going to see time with Beyond Good and Evil 2, possibly a Watch Dogs 3. I don't quite know if I'd say a Watch Dogs 3, but possibly. Watch Dogs 2, I'm assuming, sold well enough. So I don't know. It's really weird. Any of y'all have any other things that y'all think are a for sure shoe-in that we'll see that we've not covered? Because I mean, there's plenty of games like, a lot of the yearly releases, and Assassin's Creed hopefully doesn't fall back into the yearly release schedule that we'll see. I mean, Call of Duty we already know about, so them showing it that way. I mean, I'm sure we'll see a big chunk of gameplay from somebody's. Now, do we? Because normally when you see Call of Duty gameplay, you see part of the story. You see a small story mission.
Well,
how do they do that? Are they just going to show multiplayer only?
Probably so.
During somebody's
Actually,
conference?
I guarantee you, instead of what they'll do for PlayStation's E3, because last year they had clippets of Modern Warfare or World War II. Guarantee you they'll have Blackout instead, and that's what's going to get everybody pumping because it's never before seen.
I guess. We're obviously going to see the Destiny stuff. I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 is supposed to be there this year. And I'm really curious to see if there's going to be an actual date attached to Cyberpunk
I hope
or not.
we see gameplay too, World End. I hope we don't see just CGI. I mean, I won't be excited, but I will hope for gameplay.
They've already shown way too much of their CGI stuff. I don't want to see a target render or anything like that. I think it's time to where if they showed gameplay with a release date set even late next year or even 2020, possibly, but then I don't want them to show the game too early. And I think that's one of the biggest things that pulls me away. I don't want them to show the game, blow this weird load, and then just set off in this different direction where we don't see or hear massive amounts about the game to a point where we know it's going well. I would really prefer a 2019 release date if they're going to show it this year, which they're saying they are. So I think it's close, specifically World End. But they've reiterated that CGI trailer over and over again. I just don't want to see it. I mean, you're all right. There's only been the one where they went really far into it, but I think that with everything that went down with the leak happening and them having to get the assets back from the people that were trying to make them bribe them with a ransom and all this stuff, I think it's time that if they're going to talk about the game and they're saying it's going to be here, I don't want to see it for more than 2 E3s. So if we see it this E3 and next E3 with a release in 2019 that might get pushed to a Q1 2020, that's okay. It's about as far as I want to go with it. Because one of the biggest things that we talked about is getting tired of seeing the same things at E3. And that's why Saul's talking about the upside of Detroit releasing before E3 this year is we know that we don't have to see Detroit at E3 again this year. I hope that Sony would be smart enough to not do it even if it wasn't. But it's one of those things. So now Square, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I saw something. Is Square's E3 presser going to be a pre-recorded, similar to what Devolver did? or is it going to be a
I hope
live?
it's not like Devolver.
My point being is it going to be pre-recorded or is it going to be live? Because I thought I saw something that said that they were going to be pre-recorded.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if it is or not either.
I actually don't remember how many E3s we saw Witcher 3.
So it's not live. Interesting.
So I don't know. That's very weird. But yeah, I don't remember specifically whether The Witcher 3 was at multiple E3s. I know that the game got delayed a few times, but I don't know how much they showed either. So it's kind of hard to judge how that'll be. And I think that they also learned a lot during that because they had to delay the game. And this is going forward on an engine that's already established. This will be on The Witcher 3's engine. So it's hard to say. I really hope that we see 2077 gameplay. If we don't, it just is what it is. I'm still excited to hear about the game because I'm excited and scared because The Witcher 3 was such a monumental success for them that there's every chance in the world that they can't live up to it. And 2077 comes out and it's just fighting an uphill battle of hype being way too high and setting people off and coming back in a bad way towards them. I hope that that's not what it is, but... Really?
Interesting. So they said that the Witcher 3 engine is not compatible with Cyberpunk.
I swear, that's extremely interesting. Well, I'm glad you said that.
I'm glad,
because
Witcher 3 combat is not my favorite.
Yeah, but that's just implementing something on top of an engine, you know?
I know, but still, they could fix that.
Huh.
So I guess, do you want to go ahead and wrap up? We've been going for about an hour and 20-ish minutes now, and I am ready for some din-dins. We had McAllister's.
We were always controlled by...
and I know I have...
We were always controlled by Saul's stomach. I just want you guys to know.
We're controlled, yeah, always. This is our controller. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this live up before, but
are you just looking for things to fill the
air with? Because we're doing live, and there's no. Why did you have the pedals on here?
Oh, so is it still Red Engine?
Tony Hawk's Skate 4. Josh, no.
Tony Hawk's Skate 4, mix them together. It's not
Podcast
Activision.
Cat wants food too. Yeah, she does. Where is she?
Tabby does need to be fed. Let's see.
What is this?
That's how you charge it, or not charge it. That's a dock, Saul. God.
I can tell it's a dock. Where's Podcast Kid in here yet?
Anyway, it looks like it's still Red Engine, which is the engine that they use for 3, but it may be the next iteration like Red Engine 4 instead of Red Engine 3. So I'm glad you said that, Rolled-In. Apparently I was wrong. Anyway, yeah, I guess so. I can't think of any more like dead shoe-ins. Sony's thing is, we're going to obviously see. I expect at least one announcement from Sony now, but I think that there's a chance we see the Medieval remaster / remake, potentially whatever it is.
Yeah, because we haven't seen that since what?
PSX was where they announced it, and they just teased it.
Not last year, right?
Yeah, it was last year. They just teased it with a small video. So I mean, hard to say.
Sorry for the noise with the laptop.
Okay, yeah, so he confirmed. Still Red Engine, but revamped. So I don't know. Seeing Medieval would be nice, but some people are worried that with the recent thing about Parappa being a PSP emulator, that they're going to run I think I mentioned this last week, where the Medieval is going to be the PSP remake of the first game on PS4, just with new textures. I hope not. I really wanted to see Medieval get a real remake treatment, similar to what we saw, but... And time will tell. I think that there's a couple of things that we'll see. I want to be surprised this E3, and I guess in my mind recently, I'm just not in a position where I feel like I'm getting surprised because everybody's come too much out. We've seen far too much from everybody,
right?
In comparison to what I feel like last year had. So if that's the case, and I'm not surprised, I at least want it to be solid.
Yeah, that's true. I think just about
and I think maybe setting expectations with knowing what's going to be there, and as long as everything they show is good gameplay and they don't spend too much time and they pace themselves right, then we get a solid presser from Sony. We get a solid presser from Bethesda, even if it's filled with Rage 2 stuff, and depending on what else we see. I mean, I'm sure we get the obligatory ESO thing. We get the obligatory Elder Scrolls Legends card game thing. Whether we see Legends come to a new platform, I doubt it, because we still haven't seen other similar games come to consoles or anything.
Speaking of Legends, you get Legend of Zelda Mega Collection, every single Legend of Zelda game ever created for Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. Wishful dreams, man. Wishful thinking.
Would you buy a Switch for that?
I would not buy a Switch for that.
So you wouldn't be able to buy a Switch to play Majora's Mask and Leap Between Worlds and all that in all one place?
I don't need to.
Well, thank you guys for joining in. This is our intro for all those that get to watch. You get to see it live now. This is kind of cool. So we'll see you guys back.
Outro. You said intro.
I'm going to murder
Saul, you're tired and you're hungry.
This man.
Yeah, murder me. All right, anyway. We will be back next week, and maybe next time we do a live episode. Let us know if you want to do more of these. This is really interesting. Let us know if you like this backdrop setup. It's a little more comfortable in a weird way. We have more room to... which is nice in its own way. But yeah, thanks, LTB. Thank you all for all of y'all who hopped in and
Liam
spoke with us. And for those of you who listen on podcast services, we will be back with our normal schedule. This will come out Monday for people that want to do that. The rest of y'all, sorry, I just don't have an episode next week because y'all watched it today.
No, just still watch it. Give us the clicks. Give us the clicks. Give us the likes.
We need the clicks. But yeah, that's about it for us. And I guess we're going to go eat. So thank you guys. Thanks, Nick, for tuning in, man. As soon as we get those PSX details, we'll have to get together, figure out when we're going to go, where we're going to go. But yep, love is best.
Love is best.
Love
Blake.
is best.
I don't know what that means.
Live is best. No, love.
Oh no,
love is best.
No, he meant live.
But yeah,
this was really fun. So I hope
now
you guys
live is interesting. I don't know. We'll do these more often. If we'll do a poll on the Twitters, maybe in the Discord, where we ask what y'all want to do. Maybe we'll do them once a month or something, just to change things up and be a little different. And maybe we'll get a little bit better at doing them and keeping our thought processes while we're doing it. But until next week, this has been Triangle Squared. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you guys.